And somebody gave him land. And he too established a Gurukul 7 years later. And these two Gurukuls are 1 mile apart. I lived in I lived in the Darshananand Gurukul. And I attended classes at the Shraddhanand Gurukul. And believe me, I was a good bicycle rider too. And every morning I had my bicycle, Atlas bicycle, one of the strongest bicycles. And at 7 o'clock in the morning, I would run out of my room on top of a roof, a little room. And I would go teach them an MA class because I was getting a scholarship. While I was doing my PhD there, I used to go there. And here, Dr. Surendra and all my other friends lived here, and I went there. Today, I bow to Swami Darshananand. There are more details, but I can't give you more details. Now, I'll perhaps look for something in writing. But I bow to, and I ask you to bow to Swami Darshananand and Swami Shraddhanand. If sannyasis didn't water the seed called Gurukul and Arya Samaj, today you and I in the West would not have been picking fruits. And as I am on the two of them, and by the way, Swami Shraddhanand was leading a demonstration in Delhi against British rule. And the British soldiers came to shoot the people. And Swami Shraddhanand was at the back of the parade talking to his people. And when they say, Swamiji, they're going to shoot us any moment, Swamiji ran and he took out his chaddar, his shawl, and he said, shoot me first. Nobody lift a hand. Let them shoot. Shoot me first. And the British soldiers, when they saw that force and strength in his voice, they pulled back. Government of India, right at the same spot where he said, shoot me first, they erected a huge statue of Swami Shraddhanand. When you all go to India this February, ask the leaders of the Charter Tour to show you the statue of Swami Shraddhanand in Chandni Chowk. Swami Shraddhananda Nirala, Swami Shraddhananda Nirala. Nirala means unique. Swami Shraddhananda Nirala. Oh my God, a unique sannyasi. The two of them focused, and let me tell you another thing. When the independence for India was being fought for, it wasn't only carrying out activities against the British soldiers. Rabindranath Tagore knew that the Indian mind had to come out in lines of poetry and deep intuition, and he became a poet, and he led the struggle for independence by writing poetry and drama. Swami Shraddhanand and Swami Darshananand knew that people had to learn Sanskrit alongside with English. Learning English alone is not enough. Some of the most obnoxious people graduate from university. They may have a big PhD, but they don't know how to talk to people. You need something side by side with English education. Let me tell you an example. Yesterday we were doing Sanskrit and we were talking about the three classes of people. The lowest class of people are those who don't want to start doing anything good because they're afraid of the problems and the challenges that may come their way, and they don't start doing anything good. They step back. The middle class of people are those who start but they stop when problems face them. They start but they stop. But the highest class of people are those who start, and despite what impediments may bash them, they never stop, but they take the task to its completion. You don't get that in English. You don't get that in chemistry, phys, biochem, living environment, this, that, and whatnot. You get that from the classics of Sanskrit. You get that from the classics of Sanskrit. So Swami Darshananand and Swami Shraddhanand knew that granted English is the carrier of scientific knowledge. Not that it wasn't there in ancient India, but nowadays you have to acknowledge that English is the carrier of scientific knowledge. Scientific knowledge is not sufficient to make a person complete in personality. You need the classics of Sanskrit. Now the schools are finding out what a mistake they make in not teaching Latin, because Latin, like Sanskrit, also contains classics. So Madan Mohan Malaviya established Banaras Hindu University among the Sanatani brothers and sisters to bring back Sanskrit education. Swami Darshananand and Swami Shraddhanand established Gurukul. On one side was Banaras Hindu University, and on the other side was Gurukul Kangri University as an effort from the Arya Samaj. That from the Sanatan Dharam Sabha, and this from the Arya Samaj. And they fought for the re-education of the Hindu mind. And he would watch his picture there, the second from that end. Would all of you turn and say, Pandit Lekram?
Pandit Lekram.
I don't like that voice. Pandit Lekram.
Pandit Lekram.
People, and I'm on worldwide transmission here. I have to be careful and choose my language well. But they were converting the Hindus of India to another religion out of, not fear, but just to be tactful. I can't name that religion, but you know what I'm talking about. And they were converting the Hindus like crazy. Pandit Lekram it was, who went and challenged them in their own language and in their own scripture and stopped them from converting. You all know the story. I would sing it in song. One day, after many days of absence from home, Pandit Lekram one day came home. He wasn't poor. He had some money, and his mom and his wife and his son were home. And he washed his hands, and he was ready to eat. And then a telegram came. In such and such a place, they're converting thousands of Hindus to this other religion. And he dropped his food. And he told his servant, go get me a rickshaw. We have to run to the train station. And before he got up, the mother said, son, you have been absent for so many days and you're going now again? You don't care to ask me how I am or ask your wife how she is. Okay, forget us, but your son is sick and lying in bed. And you're not going to ask? He said, Mommy, here one son may die. I don't know, will die, but may die. There, thousands and thousands of sons and daughters of the motherland will die from having changed their religion. I'm sorry, Mom. Duty calls. I have to go. And he said, I'm sorry, Mother. And he bowed to his mom. And he ran. And he sat on the rickshaw, and he reached the train station. And eyewitness accounts say the train was pulling out. And he was a strong person. When you have conviction, strength comes to you. And he ran and he grabbed the iron rails. And he was dragged on those wooden things on the railway line until whatever he did, and his foot caught on the steps. And he sat, and he reached, and he challenged, and he stopped the conversion. And then a letter came the next day, your son has died. What could he have said? This one has died there, but many have been given new life here. This is another one. Would all of you please look on the screen and say Mahatma Hansraj?
Mahatma Hansraj.
You need to know these names. Swami Shraddhanand focused on Gurukul, and Mahatma Hansraj focused on DAV, Dayananda Anglo-Vedic colleges. All of you kindly say DAV. Dayananda Anglo-Vedic. Professor Bhaskaranand tried to start a DAV college in Durban Street, in the old Vedic mandir in Durban Street. It wasn't a successful experiment. They have one right now in Texas. They're the Montessori schools, and they're the DAV schools. And DAV schools in India are top achieving schools. And they give them a cultural education. And you know who these are. On March the 23rd, let me see if I have it right. March the 23rd, Bhai Sameshi, or March 26th? Yes, 23rd. Bhagat Singh Martyrdom Day. Look, he's right here. This one, the first one is Bhagat Singh. The other one is Rajguru. And the other one is Satyadev. And this one is Khudiram Bose. People online are watching. Well, all of you loud and clear. Would you say Bhagat Singh?
Bhagat Singh.
Would you say Rajguru? Would you say Satyadev? Would you say Khudiram Bose? 16-year-old.